In 1921, H.P. Lovecraft introduced a narrator wandering the Rub al Khali, the empty quarter of the Arabian Peninsula. Deep in those shifting sands, he uncovers a ruined, pre-human metropolis and begins a slow descent into its lightless depths. The architecture he finds is fundamentally disturbing. Every corridor is scaled for the gait of a crawling creature, with ceilings too low for a human to stand and steps too small for a human foot. This story, The Nameless City, provided the foundational architecture for the Cthulhu Mythos. It was the first time Lovecraft built a narrative around the idea of a prehistoric, alien race dwelling beneath the earth. It also marked the debut of the mad Arab Abdul Alhazred, who supposedly dreamed of this city the night before he wrote his famous couplet, "That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange aeons even death may die." While the monsters were fictional, the setting was not. Lovecraft constructed this nightmare directly atop the records of real vanished empires. To understand why this story still resonates, we have to look past the reptilian creatures and examine how Lovecraft used real-world archaeology to make his impossible world feel dangerously close to our own. Lovecraft's creative process forms stratigraphical layers. Beneath the surface fiction lie deep deposits of inspiration. First is the literary topsoil, his subconscious processing of dreams and favorite authors. Supporting everything is the bedrock, the historical facts and archaeological discoveries giving the story its physical weight. For the story's atmosphere, Lovecraft turned to Lord Dunsany. He was specifically haunted by a phrase Dunsany used to describe a subterranean void, the unreverberate blackness of the abyss. To ground that abstract feeling, Lovecraft consulted the 9th edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica, looking for a real-world location to host his descent. He used a dry encyclopedia entry as a literal coordinate for his dream, grounding a supernatural story in the physical record of the Arabian desert. The entry Lovecraft copied into his notes described Iram of the Pillars, a legendary city of the Arabian sands that vanished so completely it was often considered invisible to human eyes. Iram originates in the Quran. Surah al-Fajr describes it as a place of lofty structures inhabited by the people of Ad, a tribe of great stature whose wealth and architecture were unmatched in any other land. The legend says the city was destroyed for the corruption of its people. Allah sent a sandstorm that lasted 8 days, burying the civilization so deeply that it became a ghost story told by Bedouins around campfires. This story reached Western audiences through explorers like T.E. Lawrence. He was the one who famously characterized the search for Iram as a hunt for the Atlantis of the sands. Iram provided Lovecraft with a thematic template, a powerful, arrogant society erased entirely by the environment it tried to conquer. Lovecraft's narrator describes the Nameless City as having unmistakable facades, hewn rudely on the face of the cliff. This architectural detail points directly to the Nabataeans. They were a nomadic tribe who achieved permanence by carving massive, monolithic temples and tombs into the red sandstone of the Jordanian and Arabian deserts. Places like Madain Saleh are dotted with these small, dark openings cut into isolated rock. They are silent, empty, and claustrophobic, the exact physical environment Lovecraft's explorer crawls through. By utilizing the visual language of the Nabataeans, Lovecraft forces his readers to associate his monsters with real, existing ruins, making the Nameless City feel like a legitimate archaeological possibility. In the 1920s, the Middle East was the site of an unprecedented archaeological boom. To a public following these excavations, the desert was a place where the earth was constantly surrendering lost civilizations. Lovecraft took this contemporary fascination and weaponized it. He suggested if we dig deep enough, we won't find our ancestors. We will find a past that has no room for humanity at all. These ruins provide a mirror to our own end. They are a glimpse of the silence that eventually claims every civilization, regardless of its scale. Whether the religious warning of Iram or Lovecraft's reptilian abyss, the message remains the same. No matter how great the pillars we build, the sands of the desert are always waiting to reclaim the ground.